It's Wednesday, time for our weekly trip to the News Zoo.
Neil Anderson joins us again live from Swamico. Hi, Neil.
Hey, good morning. Well, we're visiting with the emus today. You can see behind me, we've got one emu. And I know the temperature, the last few days have been, it's been very hot and humid out here. And one of the birds that really likes a sprinkler, you can check out the emu. We just turned the sprinklers on this morning. This is interesting because emus, you really don't think that these guys are, really like water, but they like to lay in water. They'll be one of the few birds that'll like to just kind of hang out. They're actually great swimmers. You wouldn't think that these guys could swim. But when you look at them with their feathers, they don't look like traditional feathers that you would see on a bird because they are a little bit different. Now check this out. Now this is a feather from the emus. And what is interesting with an emu feather is that it comes from one feather follicle, okay, but it splits in two. So there's actually two feathers coming out, and you can see it's very hair-like. It's because in other birds, these would be all knitted together. All these barbs would be knitted together, which would for them be real water repellent. So when it's raining out, these guys get pretty soaked because there really isn't, they don't have that water repellent value that other feathers would do. But here's another interesting thing. If you're checking those guys out, you look, the feathers are all black tipped. So say it's hot, really hot, like the last few days, they can withstand both, such a wide range of temperature from being really cold to really hot. And the one thing that they do is the tips of those feathers are black, just the tips. And what's neat with that is the solar radiation is absorbed only in the tips of those feathers. So they take that black and it just absorbs all that the solar radiation, that heat, and then they've got the insulation value of the rest of the feathers underneath. So they really are set up to handle, the hot, sunny days, and sometimes, quite arid days as well. Now the back end of these guys, their feathers are a little bit different. They're kind of short, stiff, and they can actually rattle them. They use that as a defense mechanism against dingoes and things like that that would be, out in the wild. So they can rattle them just to scare their predators away. And it's kind of eerie, when they all of a sudden they're standing there and they're rattling. It makes an unusual noise. It's enough to startle, and for them, in case, it's enough for them to go ahead and get away. But they love the sprinklers. They'll hang out in the water, and it's a good way for those guys to cool off in these hot temperatures.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick, what's the largest bird?
Sure. Largest bird is the ostrich.
Okay, just wanted to know.
And then you got these guys. Then you got cassowaries too. They're pretty close, but these are probably the second heaviest bird.
All right. Thanks, Neil. See ya.
Hey, sounds good.